Hey everybody, welcome back. Brock and I just got back from Disney World. We were there for 9 days. It was super hot, it was super fun, and our favorite thing to do down there is to buy Disney collecting pins. Brock has a lanyard from when he was younger and he went with his parents. I have a lanyard from when I went with my parents. I lost it there for a little bit, but we found it. And we were just trying to think of an idea that we could display our collecting pins, that we always have them and they don't get lost. And we came up with this idea of making a Mickey corkboard from our Glowforge to hang all of our pins. As you can see, we got a lot of pins. They all fit on there, which I was super happy about. I have the Glowforge Basic, which only has a design bed of 19 by 11. So I was kind of nervous that pins weren't gonna fit on there. We were gonna have to make multiples. So I was really excited that everything worked out. So let's see how I did it. Some of the material that you will need for this project is 2 pieces of 1/8 inch MDF board. You do need a masket to help prevent charring. You'll need a weeding tool, some super glue, or I use this rapid fuse glue that I found at Lowe's. Black acrylic paint, I like the matte finish, and a couple sheets of corkboard I got mine from the dollar store. You don't need to buy super thick board because we will just be layering it. So I already created the file, so there's 3 things that need to be cut out. The first one over here is the backing that's going to just hold everything together, and what we're going to attach the hanger to hang it on the wall. That's going to be cut on a 1/4 inch MDF board. That's my favorite board to use. It'll take up the whole board. So if I drag this up here, it's just going to fit. So that's the backing. This design has 2 colors, a red color, which is the cut line, and the black one, which is the score line. It's just to help me line up the corking when I put it on later. That space in between those 2 lines is going to be filled in by the outline. So the outline is going to be colored. You're going to paint it whatever color you want. I really haven't decided on the color. I think I'm just going to do another black one. My parents said that they wanted one, so I'm going to just give them this one. And the last thing that's going to be cut is the cork board. I did not spend the money on getting a thicker corkboard. I just layered some sheets from the dollar store, and I'll show you how I do that. But those are the 3 things that you're going to need to cut on your Glowforge or whatever you cut it on. So I am going to open up my Glowforge file. So I already have one of my boards in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go up to the left corner and I'm going to click the medium MDF. That's the material I'm using. And then what I need to do is I need to program what everything's going to be. So I wanted to see what this Mickey head was. I wasn't sure. And if you can see on the figure on the board right now, it highlights what it is. So I know that's the inner line. So once I click score, it changes the color on it. So then I want to make sure that this is on a cut file and the other 2 images are off my board so they just don't cut. So once I have it on there, I want to make sure that my whole image is on my board. I'll just raise it a little bit. And we are ready. I click ready, and then I'm going to go press my magic button. Okay, so I just cut the backing. Now I want to just either drag it off or I'll just delete it so I just don't get confused. And I'm going to bring the next Mickey head that is going to be just all cut. So for this one, I just want to make sure that it's lining up on my board. In the last one I cut, I did say it was 1/4 inch, but all the boards that I'm cutting are 1/8 inch. Sorry. I like the thinner board. I was having a little bit of a hard time trying to get the right cut strength for 1/4 inch, and it kept burning the edges. So I like 1/8 inch. It doesn't burn it as hot. So once I have that ready, you just put that one on to cut. All right, so here's our Mickey head that we cut out on the Glowforge. If I put a paper, like a corkboard paper, there's no way that it's gonna fit on one. So what I came up with is the dollar store has these nice little sheets of corkboard for $1. They're thin. I think they're like maybe 1/16 of an inch or something. So what we need to do is we need to layer them. So there's 3 even layers. You want 3 layers thick. So I think the first one I did with 6. I only have 5 on me right now, so I'm hoping that I can kind of just go with it, and this little piece that I had left over is going to help. So the first thing I'm doing is I'm just trying to take off the adhesive backing from one sheet. Okay, and I just put 2 sheets together so they're nice and even, and I'm going to lay this one down. Let's see if this one will fit. This one should be fine. Yep, that will work for me. So I'm going to take the piece off the extra that I had. If not, what you can do is just put another piece down there. You're just going to cut off the excess anyways. So I'm taking the backing off this little piece. And just lining it up as close as possible, pressing it down. So if I use my outline as a template, I just want to make sure that everything on the inside of this Mickey head is covered. So I don't need to really worry about this backing. If you put the backing on, it does come off in a little places, but remember, we're only putting corkboard on the inside of this, so you don't need to worry about it. So I'm going to take my X-Acto knife, or whatever this little craft tool is, and I'm just going to cut down and pull it off. I can use that as scrap later. And the same thing on this side. Okay, so now I want to just put another sheet this way and then one on the bottom. So I'm just taking this off. It also helps when you go in opposite directions just to support those seams. And do I want to use this? Yeah, I'll use it. Why not? I don't like having small scraps. So this is probably the more straight edge seam here. And then the last one here, taking off the backing. You're not really gonna see the seams anyways. I had a seam on mine. You can't tell when you have the pins on. So now what you're gonna do is you're just gonna put this in the Glowforge and you're gonna cut it. So another thing you need to do before you program the Glowforge is you need to get the thickness of this material. So I have this clever tool and I just read the thickness of this. So it's about, I don't know if you can see it, but it's like almost pretty much like 0.2. Right, so once you have cut your backing, your outline, and you adhesive layered your cork together, you're gonna delete the outline. I already have the cork in here, and I'm gonna carry my Mickey head onto my cork board. You just wanna make sure that you're on the cork board. I'm gonna have to move mine a little bit prior to starting, so I'm gonna do that. But anyways, I was like doing a little bit of research on settings. So how I go about is you're not using any Glowforge certified materials. So what you need to do is you need to click that you're using on certified material, and that's where taking that measurement's going to come in handy, because the Glowforge wants to know how thick your material is. So I measured it, and I'm going to enter settings. I'm going to cut it. So since I'm not using a proof grade material, I have to manually program it. So I was doing a little bit of research, and if you go too slow, you're going to start a fire, and if you go too fast, it's not going to cut. So I was reading somewhere where somebody said between like 250 to 350. 250 if you're at 1/8 inch, 350 or if you're at 1/16. So I'm going to go in between there at 300, and we're going to do a power of 100, and we're going to do one pass. When I did this personally for myself, I did it at 250 and 100. It didn't cut all the way. I just had to use my X-Acto knife and kind of just give it that little push through, which was not a problem. So I'm just going to try to go a little bit. I actually want to do 200. Let's do 230. So I want to go a little bit slower. So instead of 250, I want to do, let's do 220, because a little bit slower will help. So I'm just going to fix my board, and then I'm going to cut it. All right, so we have all three of our pieces together. We're gonna just put the cork to the side. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take the the masking off of all the other pieces. You should. Now is where we're gonna get to painting. You're just gonna paint the outline whatever color you want. I'm just gonna be bland, I'm just doing black. So I have my Apple Barrel matte acrylic paint that I got from Walmart. It's almost gone. I like using paper plates, and I like using makeup sponges. I cut this one in half so I don't need to waste a full one. Okay, we're gonna put that off to the side and we're gonna work with our backing and our cork board. So we just wanna make sure that everything lines up nicely. And you just wanna make sure that you don't have any like frayed cork board. Like as an example, like right here, you just wanna like make sure that that's out of the way. Because when we put that outline on, it won't sit right. So just go over your edges, see if you have any stragglers. Okay, and I think it looks good. Rapid fuse, I got it at Lowe's. I really like it. It's a fast setting super glue. Take the backing off of your cork. And then you just want to make sure that you are putting it on those inside score lines and pressing down. Giving it a nice push. Then I think I'm out of my rapid fuse, so I'm just gonna put that in the garbage, and I'm gonna get my other glue I use. Super glue, you gotta make sure that it says that it sticks to wood. So I'm going to outline where my outline's gonna go. You don't need like a lot. I know in some places it looked like I put a lot, but, and you're gonna take this and you're going to place it around the cork, give it a nice push, make sure it's connected everywhere. I have these little clamps that I got from Harbor Freight, and I'm just clamping them to make sure I get a tight fit. Now the cork does sit up just a teeny tiny bit, and there's just non-finishing all the way around, but for something that took me probably a total of 20 minutes to a half hour, I think it came out pretty darn good.